Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about inconvenience. So, the title is Convenience and Greatness Cannot Coexist, meaning if you want to succeed in anything, you have to do things that are sort of an inconvenience to your day-to-day life. So, when you think about wanting to improve your health and fitness, waking up at 5 a.m. to get a workout in before you go to work is a big inconvenience, but if you do it long enough, it will lead to becoming more fit and more healthy. You know, spending 2 hours meal prepping your meals on Sunday when you could be just resting is an inconvenience, but by doing so consistently, you will reach your goals of building more muscle or losing more body fat or just being healthier overall. Some other things like staying in on the weekend when your friends are going out, maybe eating a healthy meal at work while your coworkers go out to eat or bring in pizza and desserts. Those are all inconveniences, but they lead to success if you stick with it long enough. So that's what we want to talk about, because so many people naturally are hardwired to want to be comfortable and they want everything to be convenient. We live in a world where we're constantly trying to innovate, make things easier for us, make things more convenient. And the more and more things become convenient, the less or the further it's going to take us away from their goals. For example, it's pretty convenient when you can drive through town and there's 6 different restaurants to choose from to eat food from. You can get candy bars and pop at every single register wherever you go, whether it's a gas station, a party store, Walmart, anything like that. So many things are convenient, and it's very easy to fall into the trap of just being comfortable and doing those things. So what we want to try to get you guys to do is get uncomfortable and start doing inconvenient things that will get you to where you want to be in life, whether it's health and fitness or just success overall.
Yeah, so kind of on that tangent, it goes to show that, inconvenient things like getting up and going to work every day, 5 days a week, it's inconvenient for a lot of people because you'd probably rather stay home and, do whatever you want, sit on the couch and watch TV and eat potato chips. But, that's the convenient option, but inconveniently, you're going to go to work, you're going to save your money, and you're going to pay your bills, even though that's not the most convenient thing. Like, you would love to just spend your money on whatever you want, but it's inconvenient to have a budget and to plan out, when you're going to take certain trips or certain things like that. Delegating when you're going to spend your time, like cleaning and different things like that. It's inconvenient, but the cost of not doing it means, well, you're homeless, you're broke, you don't have a clean house, and all those things transfer over to health and fitness, right? So it's inconvenient to come to the gym or get up early before coming into work, but after a while, it becomes less inconvenient, but then you have to level it up a little bit, right? So, at first, maybe coming 3 days a week is inconvenient. And after a while, you get used to that, and it's not as bad to come up anymore. It's more of a habit. Then you can all right, like do 4 days a week, or do, some sort of activity on the other days. Start adding in a little bit more to progress in that. So you're always staying on that side of uncomfortable. Like, you don't want to stay in your comfort zone. There's the quote that no change or nothing good ever happens in your comfort zone. So by staying on the outside of it, that's where your growth is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true that you don't grow inside of your comfort zone. And I know that sounds so cliche, but really, if you don't do something that hurts a little bit, that brings you a little bit of pain, you are just going to stay stagnant and you're never going to grow. And one thing that I was just kind of thinking of is whenever you complete a task that was inconvenient for you, whether it was getting your workout in, getting up early, drinking all your water, whatever you do, say you wake up and work out at 5 a.m., do you regret it when you're done? No, never. You always feel so accomplished. Like, for example, today, I woke up at 4 a.m. And I worked out, I started laundry, I did dishes, I made breakfast, and I made lunch all before I had to come into work this morning. And although I hated when my alarm went off this morning, I came in today and I told Taylor, I was like, I feel so awake. I feel so good today. And it was so hard and I did not want to get up, but you never regret it. You always feel so good after doing it. And even like Bethany and I, like I said last week, we're doing the 75 hard challenge, and the hardest part for me is getting outside for a walk, whether because it's cold or I'm just like running out of time. But again, I always feel so good after getting some fresh air. I never stay cold for very long because you're moving the whole time. And I always listen to a podcast, so I'm learning or I'm growing or I'm just kind of fueling myself in whatever that looks like. So I don't know, you just always feel so good after you do the hard things. So you just have to like remember that and stay focused on that, and that will kind of motivate you to just get it done and eat the frog, like we like to say.
Yep. So yeah, I'm glad you said that, because when you do wake up really early, for example, it's very hard to do those things. And I think of my morning class, or like even myself, like it's been inconvenient for the last 5-6 years. You don't want to get up at 4 a.m., but once you get up and you get moving, and then I come in and I see everybody, and they all are thinking the same thing. They didn't want to wake up at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. and come in and work out. But then as you get moving, and then by the end of class, everybody's talking and laughing and having fun. And honestly, they're probably some of the happiest people I know. And they work out at 5 a.m. 3 days a week with me in the class while most people are still sleeping. And I think there's a reward to just being the type of person that gets things done, knowing that half the world is still in bed, or more than half are still sleeping. You're getting some things done and getting those things accomplished. And when you do accomplish tasks, even if it's just doing the dishes or get your load of laundry done, even though it was an inconvenience, you didn't want to do it, once you get it done, you get that hit of dopamine. You feel good, you feel accomplished. That's why making your bed is such a powerful thing to do. Everybody has heard, the first thing you should do is make your bed when you wake up. And it's literally just because when you get that one little thing done, you feel that sense of accomplishment, and that usually leads to more things. What else can I do to get more things done today? So you should start embracing the inconvenience of life that will get you to where you want to be. So next time you think, oh, I don't want to do this workout, realize that, okay, once I get this done, I'm going to feel amazing. So this is part of the process. It's literally common for every single person. You're not a rare person if you hate coming to the gym. Almost everybody probably hates coming to the gym, at least to start. But then once you get going, you start feeling good. And then once you get done, especially, you love the fact that you actually did that. So many great things come from inconveniences. And there's a quote that says, the most extraordinary things you've done started out as an inconvenience. So when you think about, like let's say you graduated college, like that's a huge accomplishment, but it was probably very inconvenient to wake up and go to class and study for hours and hours. You'd rather be doing 100 different things. But once you graduate, and then you start applying for the jobs that you went to school for, like that's what you did it for. That's the success that you were hoping to achieve. Same thing with, fitness and health. It's inconvenient to meal prep and drink water and work out and avoid fast food and avoid sugar and pop and stuff. But you do that inconvenience in order to succeed and be happy with where you are. And I can tell you the opposite. If you decide to go the other route and you say, Taylor, I don't want to do those inconvenient things. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I'd rather just do convenient stuff for me, get fast food, be comfortable with my Netflix and eating ice cream every single night. A couple years down the road, whether it's 1, 5, or 10, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to be completely unhappy, unsatisfied with the way you look and feel on a day in and day out basis. And so the inconvenient things now will lead to bigger returns in the future. And the more comfortable and convenient things that you do now are going to lead to worse things in the future. They compound over time.
Yeah. And I like that you touched on, the other route, right? So by choosing what's convenient, it honestly sets up your life to be more inconvenient later. And so it's honestly, if you think about doing it in the short term, if you do the inconvenient or the hard things in the short term, you get to choose your hard. So you at least have the freedom to choose, hey, I'm going to do these things, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be hard. I don't always want to do it, but I'm going to do it now. So that way later on, you actually have it a little bit easier. It's you don't have, you have the positive return from doing all those inconvenient things, versus if you start off with, I'm just going to do whatever I want, whatever's convenient, whatever I'm comfortable with, that compounds. And then later on, you aren't comfortable, and then you aren't as happy. You end up like in a way worse position, even though you're doing, what feels good in the moment, you're not going to feel good later on. So you won't be able to control that hard. So it's going to be hard to not be happy in your own skin. It's going to be hard to not be able to do all the things you want to do because your body's not physically able to. So by choosing to do the hard things first, you can avoid hard things later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I was kind of thinking is, say you work a 9 to 5 and you have a little bit of a commute, maybe even an hour home from work, and you're starving when you get out of work. You don't want to have to go home and cook dinner because it would take more time, and you're just starving. And it'd be way more convenient just to stop at McDonald's and grab some sort of fast food. That is not going to get you where you need to be to your goals. And so I kind of have a tip for that, because I used to have to drive back and forth from Saginaw and stuff, or Midland, when I did my internship. And what I would do is make sure I have a healthy snack that I can eat on my way home that will hold me over until I get home to make dinner. Mm-hmm. Or before you leave for work in the morning, make a crock pot dinner. Bethany is she makes everything in the crock pot. And I do it quite a bit too, because I don't want to have to cook dinner after I get home from work. So throw on a crock pot dinner, have your snack in your car on your way home, and then voila, you don't have to go. You're going to save money. I know groceries are expensive, but it is still going to be way more expensive in the end if you're buying fast food every single day. So you'll save money, you will feel better, and it's just...
Yeah. I'm going to come back. I think we have some tips that we can definitely give you on how to start this. One other thing that comes to mind when you think about the people that put in the extra hours at work, for example, because they have a certain goal that they want to achieve, within their success of their career. So you have the people that work their 9 to 5, but then you have the guys that stay late or come in early. Mm-hmm. And it's a big inconvenience, obviously. They're sacrificing that time. But then you also have the people that look at others and be like, oh, that must be nice because he's got all that stuff. Yeah. When he was the guy that was putting in the extra time and doing the extra work and sacrificing the time to do those things that were inconvenient. So it's kind of funny because we see so many people that come in and they're like, oh, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of energy and things like that. Basically saying it must be nice that these people have more energy, more time. Well, we, for example, we put in this, we sacrifice, we make the time for these inconveniences so that we have more energy and we can do more things. So you really just have to decide which type of person you want to be and create the time. And that leads me to my first tip is we mentioned eating the frog. And the reference there is if you had to eat a frog every day, you would want to do it first thing in the morning and get it over with, or else you're going to be thinking about it all day. So in other words, it's get the hardest thing done first thing in the morning. So pick what thing is going to be the most inconvenient thing your entire day and tackle that first. So if that is working out, if you're somebody that just hates going to the gym or doesn't have time after work, wake up earlier, get your workout in. That might be your biggest inconvenience. It could be, meals. Maybe I do go and get fast food on the way home every single night because I don't have the energy to go home and make food, or I have a long drive and I'm starving. First thing in the morning, prep a dinner or a snack or a lunch, get that done with first thing in the morning. So start thinking about what is going to be the most inconvenient thing for me to do all day. Get that thing done first thing in the morning, wake up a little bit earlier, and you will feel so much better and you're going to get way closer to your goals. And then Bethany mentioned also, once that becomes a habit and it becomes easier, it becomes more convenient, then you work on the next thing. Mm-hmm. That's when you can tackle what else do I need to work on. So we're not saying you need to tomorrow eat better, drink enough water, get rid of sugar, eat enough vegetables, work out 5 days a week. You don't need to tackle all of these habits at once. Start with the most important habit first. Once that becomes easier, once it becomes a habit and you're like, oh, okay, I can do this, it's not so bad, then you add in the next thing. Because if you just stop there, you're gonna regress. You're gonna end up hitting a plateau. You're no longer going to be progressing, and you're gonna lead to more of that comfortable lifestyle. So once you learn something and it becomes convenient, add in the next thing that's inconvenient. That way you're always progressing and you're always getting better and getting closer to your goals.
Right. One other tip when it comes to like habit wise, obviously things are going to become more convenient, even if they are they are inconvenient at first. What you can do is you can flip that. So the things that are convenient, say like Netflix, sitting on the couch watching TV, try this tip. I unplug my TV and take the batteries out of the remote. So if I really want to watch a show, I have to jump through hoops basically to make it happen. So creating a little bit of a barrier to entry.
Make convenient things inconvenient.
That's right. So obviously it's hard. You don't want to do the inconvenient thing. So what you can do also is if you have junk food in the house and say there's someone else in the house that really wants it, put it somewhere like top shelf where you're like not going to see it, where you have to like get a step ladder out to go and get it. Or put it in, like, instead of having it out in the open where you can see it, put it in a bin where you're not able to see what the contents are or anything like that. So making it not as convenient to go for those snacks, or keep it out of the house altogether.
Yeah.
That's even better.
I was just going to mention, like, I love ice cream. I mean, I mention it in every single podcast we do. I love blizzards. And so we never buy ice cream for the house. Yeah. When we want ice cream, it's usually a Saturday and we go to Dairy Queen and get a blizzard. So just keep it completely out of the house. Once you want something, you have to literally drive to the store or wherever you want to go to get it. That will usually help you decrease how often you're doing it. So I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. And then as far as other things, like for exercise, right? So that can be really inconvenient for certain people. Laying out your clothes makes it more convenient, or, drinking your pre-workout while you're warming up. It's like, well, I already drank my pre-workout, so now I have to work out. Otherwise, I'm just going to be itching my face from my pre-workout for a while. So, setting yourself up for success in that terms, like obviously it's going to be inconvenient to do, but there's ways to make it a little bit more convenient.
Yeah. Another thing is like having accountability people. So having people that are going to be at the gym at 5 a.m. with you. Or, we've been really working with clients on creating new and better habits. So having a coach who is going to see if you have hit your habits for the day or not. That keeps people on track. So just have somebody that you can kind of do it with, or somebody to just hold you accountable. And a lot of times people say they can't wake up at 4 a.m. You can. You just have to force yourself. You literally just have to do it. And then eventually you'll be tired enough to go to sleep early enough. If you're still not tired enough to go to bed at 8:30 or 9, you probably need to cut back on some caffeine, or there's just something else going on that you need to kind of figure out so that you can go to sleep earlier. I've definitely noticed since I cut back on caffeine, I'm ready for bed by 7 o'clock. Like it is just, and it's a lot easier for me to go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I can get up at 4. It's still not fun, but it's more doable. So you just have to kind of figure out a way for you to be able to do those things.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to go to bed early until you've started to wake up really early. So yeah, the easier way to do it is just to start waking up earlier, and you'll naturally be more tired. For a lot of people, it might be inconvenient to cut out caffeine before 2 p.m., but that's how you can go to bed earlier. So that could be a tip that you can add in to help you go to sleep. But I'm really glad that you mentioned making like working out and that stuff a little bit more convenient, so it's not so hard, because every single night I put my workout clothes in what I'm going to wear to work. I put it right in the bathroom so I can just throw it on when I wake up. So that's very convenient. It's right there. Just makes it a little bit easier. Same thing with like my schedule. So every night before bed, I'm writing out our schedule. That way it's not so inconvenient to try to figure out all the things that I need to do during the day. So, Bethany uses Google Calendar. I don't know if you write things down or if you use Google Calendar, but probably both. I use both for scheduling out my whole day. That just makes your tasks in your life so much easier. So although they are still inconvenient, there's definitely ways to make all these things easier. The biggest point of the discussion today is you need to embrace that things that have a reward to them or get you to where you want to be are going to be somewhat inconvenient. And that is part of the process. That is part of the journey. That is life in general. Everybody does it when they get up to go to work. But you have to work to pay the bills and have the things that you want in life. So same as work, with your health and fitness, you got to do these things. It should be natural. The other day I said something, it should be no different when you wake up and have to go to work, when you wake up and have to get your workout in or have to eat healthy or drink water. Mm-hmm. They should be literally the same thing. You should have the same priorities for your health and your fitness as you do for your work and your job. So hopefully this helps. We just wanted to talk about this because it's definitely something that people struggle with, the obstacles of, I don't want to have to do this, and that. But what you got to realize is everybody goes through this. Everybody battles with these same inconveniences. But I'm promising you, if you battle these and you stick with it long enough, you're going to build the habits and you're going to be living a much healthier, happier lifestyle. And I think you'll just get a lot more joy out of everything that you do. So hopefully this helps. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Stay healthy. Bye.